Hello friends, today's a big day. It's my annual VO2 Max test and I'm taking you along for the ride with me. I'm going to show you the process, what it involves doing, and how I'll use the results to inform training smarter. Let's go. So what is VO2 Max? It's defined as the highest rate that your body can turn oxygen into energy. Think of it as how well your body can take oxygen from the air, extract it from the lungs, deliver it to your working muscles, and utilize it to produce energy. It's considered the gold standard test of aerobic fitness, the best predictor of longevity, and the best overall assessment of what your body's physically capable of. And that right there is why I care. I'm not an endurance athlete. I'm not going to score anywhere near as high as those guys. My primary fitness goal is longevity. So I train to build strength and aerobic fitness equally because those metrics matter most to our health span and lifespan. Now, I appreciate that it's a little unusual for a 35-year-old to be so focused on longevity, and here's why. I've been a broken athlete in the past. I've dabbled in bodybuilding and realized that I'm just wrecking my health further, and that sent me on a long journey to rebuild my body and discover an approach to exercise that aligned with my values of being in great shape physically, but above all else, healthy, so that I can enjoy a high quality of life today and in my future. And that brings me to VO2 Max testing. This is the best assessment of aerobic fitness, so I like to try and get a test annually to benchmark my progress and inform smarter training. So I'm particularly excited about this VO2 Max test because I no longer need to go to the lab. I've brought the lab to me. This is the VO2 Master. It's a portable metabolic testing device. I actually learned about it off Peter Attia's Drive podcast with elite coach and physiologist Olav Alexander Bu. He is the trainer to elite triathletes Christian and Gustav. It's adopted by elite coaches and athletes all over the world. It is literally a Hans Rudolph mask that you would get in a lab, plus the headgear, and this genius device, which is the analyzer itself that slots in the front. Now, listening to Peter Attia and talk about this, it is nearly 100% accurate compared to labs. In fact, he said that the difference is less than nothing and got his hands on one. I swiftly followed. I had to have one of these things. So here we are, and this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm excited about this test for three main reasons. Number one is I can test myself rucking on an incline treadmill because that is my primary cardio modality. In the past, I've had to do running or cycling because those are the two main options in a lab. This means I can test myself doing what I actually do for my cardio training. So the results are more likely to indicate my actual capabilities, and the results are likely to be more useful and applicable to my training. Second reason I'm excited is comfort, okay? No hose, wires, and packs to wear. This is just the mask on your face, and I get to be in a gym that gets me buzzing. This is Brunel University, my old stomping grounds where I used to train when I was in my university days. So I'm excited to be here and be able to test myself with this. And I can also use this now in my training to fine-tune my protocols because it's just so easy to whack on and go. Right, I'm going to walk you through my VO2 Max test protocol. So you do what's called a graded exercise test in which you incrementally increase the exercise intensity up to maximal effort. Now, I know I'm doing the modality of rucking, okay? So I'm going to be on a 15% gradient treadmill, and I'll change the intensity by changing the speed in kilometers per hour. The first step has to be an intensity that lands the heart rate around 100 beats per minute. I know for me, that's going to be around 3 kilometers an hour. The last step should be absolute maximal effort, and I know that's going to be about 7 kilometers an hour. And you want at least 8 steps to capture that full intensity range. So I'm going to be doing 3 kilometers an hour, and every 2 minutes, the intensity is going to increase by 0.5 kilometers per hour. And we'll see how many steps I get, but I imagine at 6.5 to 7, that's when it's really going to kick in. That's going to be probably my failure point. So we're now set up. I am ready to get ready and give it my all. All right, ready to rock and roll. But first, a target. My last VO2 Max test about a year and a half ago scored a 53. So I would just be delighted if I can beat that. I've got 60 in my mind as a stretch goal. Either way, I'm going all out. Let's see what we can do. You'll see in a sec when I go through the data, I was hitting 60, I then killed the switch. So I'm running at 7 kilometers an hour, stopped dead. Very frustrating because I had another 30 seconds in me and I think that would have taken me just over into the 60, but let's go through it and see what happened. Okay, a quick data breakdown. There's a lot we could go through here, but I'll give you the 3 main metrics. The first being VO2 Max, and I got a 58.7. Bittersweet. Okay, I got way more than I had before, so this is showing directionally that my fitness improved. I really wanted the 60, and what's really frustrating is I knocked the kill switch on the on the treadmill on my last stage, and you can actually see here I'm hitting 160, but it has to be there long enough for that to register. And then I killed the switch and that fell back down. So can't class myself as a 60 VO2 Max, but nonetheless, this is, according to the data reports, in the top 99%, top 1% of the population. So ironic, my motto being smarter training, superior results, and I got in that 99% score. So I'm still delighted with that. And I also like to look at that and see how it fits with the Mansager chart. This is from a landmark longevity study. And this looks at the association between cardiorespiratory fitness and long-term mortality. This also puts me into the elite category there, which is the top 2.3% of the population and the lowest risk of all-cause mortality. So I cannot grumble, I'm happy with that. The next 2 metrics I think are really useful is VT1 and VT2. So this stands for ventilatory threshold 1 and ventilatory threshold 2. They're the 2 inflection points in your breathing rate. And VT1 is exactly where that zone 2 threshold is. So this is really useful to know. It means I now know that 152 heart rate and the corresponding intensity, okay, 15% gradient and a 4.8 speed, is exactly where I should do my zone 2 training if I want to get the best results from it. Also really interesting with that metric is that my zone 2 threshold is 84% of my max heart rate, which is unusually high. And that's a good thing. It shows very good aerobic efficiency. And I know that the reason it's so high is because I've spent so much time nasal-only breathing and working on my breath control, even at high intensities. There's a lot to talk about here that's super interesting. We'll get into that another time. And VT2 is that kind of anaerobic threshold, the next inflection point in breathing rate. So above that line is where you want to be doing HIIT training, or where I want to be. So I know that 174 heart rate and above is where I want to be to get the most out of HIIT training. So to sum all that up and learning how I can use this data to inform smarter training, my VO2 Max, again, shows directionally that my cardio protocol is working really well. VT1 and VT2 data is going to really help me to fine-tune my intensities for my 2 primary cardio methods, zone 2 training and HIIT. There's a lot more to learn there, but those are the main points. I want to leave you with a thought. Historically, VO2 Max is mainly interested in endurance athletes and coaches. I'm much more interested in how VO2 Max relates to longevity and the quality of our lives, because the data is undeniable. In fact, one of my favorite quotes, there is literally no other intervention in the same league as aerobic fitness for longevity promotion. It's the real fountain of youth. So I hope this video encourages you to put this metric on your radar if you care about health and longevity. And here's the really cool thing. You don't need to do an obscene amount of cardio to improve your VO2 max. In fact, I only do 3 hours a week, which I think is very manageable for most people. And I'm in that elite category. I have clients doing even less who are in that same elite category. The key is precision with your cardio methods and intensity zones. If you get that right, and you're consistent, you will see your fitness soar, and with that you're going to have better recovery, you're going to have more energy day to day, an easier ability to build muscle and strength, lose body fat, and just feel all round fit and healthy. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about it or you'd like any deeper dives into more areas around this topic, let me know below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.